Just like everybody else, I have my list of New Year's resolutions. 1, take care of the world's most deranged psychopath, CM Punk. 2, find a copy of Reggie's Prayer for later on in the show. 3, win the Royal Rumble. And 4, go on to WrestleMania to become the new WWE Champion.
And for your character, let's take a little trip back to 1997 after you won your Olympic gold medal. When you were a lost little puppy who had nowhere to go. You worked your entire life for that moment.
Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to announce I'm Wade Barrett. And for the last 6 months, I've assisted in revolutionizing Monday Night Raw as the leader of the Nexus. That was, of course, until I was summarily dismissed. But since that day, I've come to recognize the error of my ways. Because the Nexus should never have been just about me. It should have been about the entire group. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is what this is all about. This is the core.
Celebrating 12 years on the air and voted 2009 Broadcast Show of the Year. This is the Pro Wrestling Report on 540 ESPN and ESPNMilwaukee.com.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Pro Wrestling Report. We're live on Monday night, January 24, 2011. Damian Nelson here along with David, the Octavius, the Tiberius, the Snitsky Hero.
But, of course, you already knew that.
Now I do.
Now you do.
And the Kaz, coming to you here from the beautiful downtown ESPN Milwaukee studios. What a show we have for you tonight, coming off the heels of that very eventful WWE RAW. We're going to be talking about this Sunday's Royal Rumble. 40 men, the largest Royal Rumble in history. We're going to go down the details of what happened on Raw tonight. We've got your comments from Facebook and Twitter. And hot news, discussion on TNA Impact from last week, our Star of the Week, and Versus, so much more, all to come here tonight.
Star of the Week.
Star of the Week.
Oh, there's only one person for that.
Kaz?
Daniel Bryan.
Danielson?
DVD.
Are you sure? I thought you had jealousy issues.
DBD's done with OPP. You can't go wrong with that.
Down with OKP?
Yeah, that too. Absolutely.
Yeah, you know me. The most important part of this show is you. We're going to be taking your phone calls when we enter the phone zone in just a few minutes. The number 800-990-ESPN, 1-800-990-3776, or all over the world at or locally here at 414-276-ESPN, 414-276-3776. Frank, you neglected to bring back those Philly cheesesteaks.
That was
just got off a bird coming back from Philadelphia a few minutes ago. Your commitment is amazing. You just come on down here right after you get off the plane at the airport.
I had a couple hours to get home
and do your thing.
It's all good.
Tonight, as a matter of fact, the fans are going to have the opportunity. All of our fans on Facebook are going to have the opportunity to pick the music.
Yeah, because they can all do so much better than what I do, huh? Is that what you're saying?
You haven't been picking the music, so I don't know why you would say that.
I wanted to pick it this week, and no one lets me do it.
Well, there were some people who weren't too happy with my picks over the last few weeks.
Well, yeah, nobody wants to hear Backstreet Boys. New Kids on the Block.
When did we play Backstreet Boys? When did we play
last
New Kids?
Week?
No,
Where have you been?
We did not play Backstreet Boys last week.
Listen, go to PWRshow.com, go to the archives, and you'll listen. It's all there.
The all-new PWRshow.com.
Yeah, it looks pretty amazing, by the way. I like it.
The tech team did a good job on that.
Be sure to put Gail Kim on the front page now because she is trending worldwide.
As is Daniel Bryan Danielson.
But Gail Kim's trending worldwide.
Let's talk about WWE RAW tonight, which was on the USA Network, obviously, headlined and main evented by the matchup between the World Heavyweight Champion, the least important of the two titles, and the WWE Champion, The Miz versus Edge. Gentlemen, a lot happened on Raw tonight. I would say a very, very solid first hour. Not as solid second hour in its entirety. We saw the show open with Edge coming down to the ring saying he wants Miz right now. Of course, that match not to happen as the anonymous general manager chimes in and says that match is scheduled later, but Edge is going to have to be subjected to an exhibition at that time, and that exhibition was 3 men would have the opportunity to throw Edge over the top rope, and if one of them were to do it, they would become number 40 in the 40-man over-the-top rope Royal Rumble.
And those were
Sunday
the 3
night.
that he picked.
The general manager picked Jack Swagger, Drew McIntyre, and Tyson Kidd. Now, the general manager did say that due to Teddy Long's situation, he is, and also noted that there was an open invitation for SmackDown stars on Raw.
Right.
Because Raw is SmackDown, SmackDown is Raw has been happening over the last few weeks, and I'm not complaining about that. But at least those 2 points cleared up, a little bit of storyline continuity there. However, neither of those three were able to eliminate Edge. Edge then eliminates himself from the picture when CM Punk's new Nexus comes out to talk a little bit about Faith.
And he took his
Faith.
sweet time.
New Diva?
No.
George Michael. They took their sweet time getting to the ring, and it slowed the pace of what they were doing in the beginning with Edge. So, but as heels do, they take their time, but it took a little bit longer. And then obviously they explained what they're going to do there for the evening, so strange.
Well, Mason Ryan, as we went in-depth on last Friday night on the Pro Wrestling Report Primetime Television, was officially debuted and introduced, and as that happened, Wade Barrett's core, with 2 R's, invades WWE RAW. The anonymous GM announces that it will be Wade Barrett versus CM Punk later tonight, and if a group loses, or for whoever loses, their respective version of the Nexus would be out of the Royal Rumble. Now, I still haven't seen the list of 40 names of people who have been entered into the Rumble, so I didn't realize they could be out because I haven't seen them entered. But be that as
I
it
saw
may,
Yoshitatsu, and he's in there.
that was later.
Saw K-Quick, he's in there.
The general manager also announcing that the guest referee would be John Cena. We would see that matchup later on, and we would see that match end in John Cena disqualifying both men due to, quote-unquote, excessive profanity. It's a PG show.
You know what I've noticed about John Cena when it comes to Nexus? Whenever he thinks he's being slick, it always backfires on him.
Being slick.
Yeah. You know, like, okay, you know what, you're both disqualified, so you're both gone. And then, like, when he was part of Nexus, and he didn't do what was asked of him because he thought he was going to tear him apart piece by piece from the inside out, that backfired on him. It actually makes the top babyface look rather silly.
Do you think that
because what he's wearing doesn't?
Well, you know.
Just saying.
When they scripted tonight's show, does Cena have pull to say, I don't like this, I don't like that?
Oh, he's in the booking meetings. There's no question he's part of that.
So, your situation that you just brought up, you know, he knows the ins and outs of wrestling. He knows what happens either way. Eventually, you know, I don't know. It just, for him to be on that top of that mountain and
mountain
and make those make those decisions, knowing that it hurts certain wrestlers. I thought he was better than that.
I don't think what he did tonight hurt anybody. It just made him look silly.
Yeah.
I mean, he makes a decision. Every decision he makes gets overturned by somebody.
Right.
So it shows he has no stroke as the top babyface, which I guess makes him vulnerable. So then the heels can, you know, try to get over.
Vulnerable, like the WWE champion, The Miz.
He's extremely vulnerable.
Owned John Cena tonight backstage.
It was 2-on-1. It was.
You have an answer for everything, don't you? An excuse that you think is an answer for everything.
It's not an excuse.
Then what is it?
It's an opinion. It's a thought.
The series.
Hey, how's Jay Cutler doing right now? I heard he bummed up his knee.
He's got a torn MCL, right?
Is that what they call it?
I think so.
Oh, yeah.
How about that, Frank? The Green Bay Packers.
They played yesterday, didn't they?
Yeah, they won.
They did.
They stomped a mud hole.
That was good. That was fun. Fun to watch.
Anyways, WWE RAW tonight. We're going to get to your comments in a minute. We've got several callers waiting on hold. We know the lines are full. However, you can join us in the chat on our Blog Talk Radio chat room because we are live tonight on Blog Talk Radio as well. We're also going to be taking your comments from our Twitter feed. Our Twitter username is @PWR Show, @PWR Show on Twitter. And, of course, the comment feed continues on our Facebook page.
And that's spelled PWR Show.
Correct.
Yeah. Got to make sure it's spelled right.
How about that Divas matchup between Natalya and Melina? The damnedest sharpshooter I think we've ever seen.
John Morrison is a lucky fella.
What do you mean? He wasn't in the match.
No, but just, you know, the abilities that he has at his disposal. Seriously, it's never going to be boring.
Hey, there's a line you've been saying lately.
Besides tremendous?
For every hot girl.
Yeah, there is.
There you go.
There's someone complaining about her.
Great matchup, though, between those two divas, seeing Natalya retain the Divas Championship to be challenged by Lay Cole. And correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems like that match was not made for the Rumble, but made for next Monday night on Raw.
They won't have time for a Divas match at the Rumble.
Because it's a 50-man Rumble?
40.
Oh, hell, just make it 60.
Well, then they got to call TNA and borrow some of their talent.
No, you can get FCW guys. Just,
Oh, yeah.
A bunch of who is that? Throw them in there. It'll be fine.
Put a couple of rests in there. What the heck? Make it 60.
Well, let's see who's left. They could probably bring up that bodyguard from SCW and use him since he hasn't been on TV in, 2 or 3 weeks. Andrew Jackson or Jackson Andrews.
Miz versus Edge, champion versus champion. Neither belt on the line. A pretty big matchup, gentlemen. Dolph Ziggler and Vicky Guerrero on commentary with Michael Cole and Jerry the King Lawler. That would be important at the end of the matchup. A match that went very long, by the way. A match that I thought was very well done, even though Edge was in it. The end of the match saw Dolph Ziggler interfering and then Randy Orton coming out, getting involved as well. Did this do what it needed to do to build that series of championship matchups at the Royal Rumble?
I think it did. They obviously, that week before Rumble, we saw how the show ended, where everybody in the ring. The same thing here. They set it up nicely so you have it's all packaged for you, and the story can either continue or obviously take any twist and turn that they want with the Rumble. So I think they did a good job of setting it up.
I didn't like it.
Of course.
Well, here's why. It's the placement of the match.
It was at the 9 o'clock hour. A very important time.
The two champions.
The two champions who were wrestling on Raw. Let's put it in context there.
The Wii champion and the world champion. The two biggest titles in professional wrestling should end the show.
You said
not
them in order
John
of
Cena and
importance
Nexus.
as well.
No, you go from bottom to the top.
But they had to end with that.
No, they didn't. They could have done the same.
Name a Royal Rumble, pre-Royal Rumble Raw in the last 10 years that hasn't ended how Raw ended tonight. David Hero.
They could have had the same ending.
They could have.
And done it that way.
They could have.
Make the World Championships and the Wii title look important. And they didn't do that. Once again, John Cena is bigger than the whole company. People tune in the last 15, 20 minutes of the show.
They tune in to all 2 hours.
No, not always. Showcase your top two titles.
And I think they did by having the matchup. But should a match of such substantialness, what the heck am I talking about? A match of such importance have happened on a free Monday Night Raw program. You had the champion versus the champion, a match many have talked about as being a WrestleMania caliber matchup. And maybe we've seen it before. But I don't know. This was a bit much to be given away. Granted, it didn't end in a finish.
You know what would have been cool?
What would have been
is
cool?
The last time Edge was on Raw, he had a big deal with The Miz, right?
He had a big deal with the Mac.
The laptop, too.
Not the Miz, the Mac.
Okay. Both. Because didn't the Miz skull-crushing finale him?
Of course.
Okay. Did they bring any of that stuff up?
No, they don't need to.
No backstory? They could have made that match look hot. That there was unfinished business.
Mm-hmm.
It should have been a fight. Dolph Ziggler shouldn't have got involved in the end.
But what if fans remember? They remember Edge beating up the laptop. They don't remember that match with Miz. Or what Miz did.
Because he's just another guy Miz beat.
Pretty much.
I wasn't going that way.
Exactly. However you want to spin it there, Olbermann. Wait, you don't have a show anymore, do you? Uh-huh. Yeah. See? That's how we do.
I quit.
No, he was fired.
Hey, he went out number one.
Did he?
That's all that matters. He's
really?
the top guy on that network. The only challenge.
He's the only one on that network.
Your
like
guy,
being the world's
O'Reilly.
tallest midget, right there.
Stop it. All right, the both of you. No, there will be none of this week. We are talking wrestling, strictly wrestling. You're not going to spend your inability to answer my pressing question.
Good night and good luck.
No, it's take care of yourself and each other.
Edward Armour, I'll go for it.
No, Springer.
Oh, gee.
Jerry.
I see how you are.
We're going to take a time out. When we come back, we're going to get to your phone calls. We've got callers in Orlando and Houston and on the East Coast waiting to chime in. You can get in when the phone lines become clear after we take those calls. The number 276-ESPN locally or 800-990-ESPN all over the world. We're also taking your comments in the chat room on Blog Talk Radio. On Twitter, our username is @PWR Show. And on Facebook, one of you has selected the music we're going to come back to. Let's see who won. This is the award-winning Pro Wrestling Report on 540 ESPN and ESPNMilwaukee.com.
540 ESPN.
This right now restores all my faith in our listeners.
Harry Barnett picked this.
That's
of our
my
Facebook
main mandible.
fans. Harry Barnett picked.
Also, he's on
team.
Twitter at Instant Classic H. Yes.
Tremendous.
Yes.
Well, thank you very much for that.
Love,
Again,
baby.
the fans are picking the music tonight.
You know, this just
There's
makes
some
me
good
feel
ones
good.
coming up. It's a great theme.
It
Great
is.
song. It's like, you know what it makes me think about? And
Please don't say me.
No, it's been like 10 minutes. The Miz, because he is like Superman, you know?
Well,
got superpowers.
if that's the case, I pray to God Randy Orton has a pocket full of kryptonite.
Welcome back to the award-winning
Multicolored
Pro Wrestling
kryptonite.
Report here on 540 ESPN, streaming live at
Jesus, guy.
ESPNMilwaukee.com, PWRShow.com, and on Blog Talk Radio. I want to welcome all of you and thank you for joining us tonight and being a part of the program. We got two things we got to talk about tonight. First off, we've got a huge guest scheduled to appear next week to put to rest some of the controversy that's been created over the last 2 weeks on this program. And we've got some information on our WrestleMania coverage coming up. And we did say that Kevin Nash was going to be on the program. Unfortunately, just a few minutes ago, Kevin Nash was again needing to reschedule his appearance. So our apologies for that. And believe you me, we really want Nash on to be a part of this. But
to the legal stuff.
Well, he just got back from Costa Rica filming that movie. And
Which, well, you know what? That's not finished yet. And I've been invited to go down to Costa Rica.
You probably shouldn't.
Why not?
I'm just saying.
New York last week, Costa Rica in a few weeks.
We're not fronting the bill for these trips, are we? Frank, you're in charge of the book.
Wow.
Can we cover that?
There is a
We're
slush
definitely
fund.
not covering last week.
Frank, you can come along to Costa Rica. You know how much fun we'll have there?
We'll fix the numbers.
We'll figure it out, right?
Make it happen.
It'll be fine.
We're talking about WWE RAW. We're going to get to a couple of phone calls in a minute. And want to clarify one thing. It is being stated on WWE.com that the Divas match will indeed be happening at this Sunday's Royal Rumble. And we're going to talk much more about the Royal Rumble, including our top Royal Rumble moments, the people to watch in the Rumble, and who the real winners of the Rumble are going to be. All that analysis coming up later on right here on this program. But, gentlemen, a big moment tonight on WWE RAW as Ted DiBiase lost for the 84th week in a row. I think him and Raw, when Raw was getting beat by Nitro, are now tied. To Daniel Bryan.
Whoa. DiBiase didn't lose.
Oh, but Alicia Fox won.
Yeah.
Your logic is, I understand now why
DiBiase didn't lose. His team won. Alicia Fox wins. Maurice wins.
Oh, you're right.
Ted DiBiase
You're right.
wins.
I'm
Alicia
sorry.
Fox
You're right.
wins.
Okay.
Pumping the brakes there?
All that mattered was
84.
after the matchup, Daniel Bryan Danielson getting caught with a little nookie in the dressing room.
God bless Gail Kim. How about that? Finally being used, going to be used properly.
When are they going to get her back in the ring?
Well, you watch. Next week, she'll be fighting probably both Bellas.
Do you think maybe she needs a turn?
Oh, she's definitely going to be a heel.
It's about time.
I don't know. I'm not too sure. Maybe the Bellas will be heels. I don't know. You know what? The fact is, one of the most talented diva or knockout female wrestlers ever is finally going to be back on TV and doing what she does best.
Repackage her, maybe.
Well, Daniel Bryan Danielson did that tonight.
You know what?
He probably did.
Gail Kim is awesome.
She probably repackaged him.
Come on now. She's a friend of the show. How can you say that?
I was giving her a
You're
compliment.
making it dirty. Damian Nelson, you've changed. You know, you can also follow Gail Kim on Twitter at Gail Kim It's Me.
Here's what's interesting about that segment. A lot of people bashed it, but what happened? Gail Kim and Daniel Bryan trending worldwide on Twitter.
Worldwide.
Just say it.
You know what? Speaking of worldwide, we got to make a worldwide trip pretty soon. We do.
He's still talking about this, Frank. We don't have that in the budget.
Listen,
New
Frank,
York, Costa Rica, and now you want to go across the pond.
Yes, the UK. You know, Harry's there. Sabrina Nicole's there. It's going to be a good time. Our
travel budget's going to be gone just on you.
It'll be fine.
I'd like to get back to wrestling.
Our UK
couple of
followers
comments
want
on, speaking of Twitter, as we talk about Daniel Bryan and Gail Kim trending on Twitter. A couple of you had some comments about Raw after it went off the air on Twitter. Remember, our Twitter name is @PWR Show. Welcome to our hundreds of new followers over the last few days. Dave the Mark says, Raw ends in the traditional way. Last week before the Rumble, rushed the ring and with superstars. Love it. Rumble this Sunday. And Super Rush is the username, said, so now Cole hates Cena and likes the new Nexus / the Core. This makes no sense. Welcome to Raw. So a couple of comments from the people on Twitter following the Pro Wrestling Report. Let's go to your phone comments now. And let's start down in Orlando, Florida. Glenn, you're live.
Hey, guys. How you doing?
Good, Glenn.
What do you guys... Okay, I want an update from Damien, because I asked you a while back on Facebook, and I want you guys' thoughts on the idea of Vince McMahon wanting to take WrestleMania into movie theaters and make it 3D.
Glenn, thanks for that call. There's been a rumor out there that WWE is going to offer WWE WrestleMania in 3D in theaters. I don't know if I understand that. I don't know enough about that industry to speak properly on it. It would be intriguing. And remember how WrestleMania started, closed captioning and tickets to theaters to watch it.
Right.
And I think recently, within the last 10 years or so, they did something in Canada where pay-per-views were available in movie theaters as well, and I'm not sure how well that played out. So, Glenn, down in Orlando, we'll see what happens. I, for one, am not going to a movie theater to watch it. However, it opens up some opportunities. As a matter of fact, we're going to share with you tonight the best way you can watch WrestleMania, the Georgia Dome in Atlanta. Thank you for that call, Glenn. Let's go down to Ricardo in Houston, Texas. Ricardo, you're live here on the Pro Wrestling Report.
Yo, what up, dogs?
Hey, Ricardo.
How about them Packers?
It's all good.
Just a shame they're going to get beat down by this.
Hush your mouth.
Okay.
Come on now.
Come on. Family-friendly show here.
I'm wondering if they'll let me fly down with them to Dallas.
Why not?
I don't know if there's room on the plane.
Oh, there's plenty of room on that bus, baby.
It's a plane.
It'll be fine.
Ricardo, what do you have for us?
Just quickly, a couple of quick things. David Hero.
Yes?
I'd like to thank you for having me watch that moron for an hour, and I did not see you on that program.
You didn't see the tweet? I got bumped. Nope. I am so sorry. I wouldn't wish that on you if you weren't a fan of Glenn Beck. I am sorry that you didn't get to see it. It should be rescheduled for after WrestleMania.
Okay. Okay.
Don't get mad about it. It wasn't my fault. I had nothing.
You got a book.
I'm not hot about it. I'm just like, why am I watching this full talk?
Did you learn anything?
You don't learn anything when you watch Glenn Beck.
Wow. Well, you know what? Why don't you watch Oberman tonight? Oh, he
Who?
doesn't have a show. That's right. Forget it.
I'll watch MSNBC. They pretty much cover the news.
There you go. All right.
So anyways,
go for it.
Anyways, do you see any way that Jericho makes an appearance at the Rumble on Sunday?
I think there's a chance. I think there's a chance for anything at the Rumble.
I think the biggest chance is slim, and I think the other chance is slight. Jericho he's doing his own thing. Ricardo, thank you very much for that call from down in Houston.
No problem.
He's doing his own thing. He's working on Fozzy. He's tweeting every now and again. He recently said he has no intention on going back to WWE, no plans on going back to WWE. But it is the Rumble, and we're going to speculate on who some of those surprise people could be later.
But he's now mentioning it now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
Which means maybe he's trying to do a swerve. Who knows?
Maybe. Thank you for that call, Ricardo, down in Houston. Again, the number 276 ESPN 276-3776, or all over the world at 1-800-990-3776, 1-800-990-ESPN. Well, all the talk and all the rage as of late is, of course, about the Royal Rumble, one of the most exciting pay-per-views each year from WWE, the January tradition since 1987 or 88. This year, coming to us from Boston. Frank, you're going to that, right? Are you going to the Rumble? Out in Boston? You know the Big Dig's finished, so traffic's better.
We should be good.
The what?
Big Dig. I used to call it for years.
The largest construction project in the history of the country.
I will not be there.
The Royal Rumble is this Sunday, and as a matter of fact, the Pro Wrestling Report, again, bringing you some new product. We're going to be live during the Royal Rumble. This is huge, Frank.
Yeah.
Live during the Royal Rumble starting at 8:30 Central Time. Live coverage of the Rumble starts with the stream. The name of the show. It's the stream followed by the post show. So we'll go right up until 10 o'clock, the end of the show, and after the show we'll talk about the Royal Rumble overall. So if you're not able to watch the Rumble, and if you're not able to follow along with what's going on, you can listen to us. That show will be exclusively on Blog Talk Radio and PWRshow.com, starting at 8:30 p.m. Nobody else covering it as we are going to cover it with your comments and your live phone calls during the Royal Rumble this Sunday. So that's going to be huge. But the biggest thing going on Sunday, of course, is the largest Royal Rumble in the history of the Royal Rumble. 40 participants. 40 men have a chance to win. Well, 10 or so men, 5 or so men
3
have a chance to win the Royal Rumble and go on to that championship matchup in Atlanta at the Georgia Dome for WrestleMania 27. Obviously, that list of those who may actually win is very short. However, the intrigue surrounding this Royal Rumble has been strong for several reasons. 40 men in the Rumble, the Nexus inclusion in the Rumble, and the several names that we don't know who are possibly participating in the Rumble.
Bob Backlund might make an appearance.
He's number 3 on the list of the longest duration in the Royal Rumble matchup, Bob Backlund. You know, Bob Backlund said one time that was it has stuck with me as one of the funniest things I've ever heard. He was getting heckled by some fans, and this was on a television show or maybe a pay-per-view. He said, "I can't hear without my glasses on." In that face that only Bob Backlund could make. Now, you know a little bit of trivia about Bob Backlund.
Yeah.
Do you know what it took to get him to sign an autograph?
Yes, I do.
Name all presidents in order.
Yeah.
Name all United States presidents in order. That's the only way he would sign an autograph.
How about that?
I did not get an autograph. I was
No?
only able to start at Kennedy. Well, Lincoln, then Kennedy.
Kennedy?
The Royal Rumble this past Sunday. Before we go into talking about this Sunday's event, let's talk about some past Royal Rumble events, because you can't really appreciate the Rumble without looking back at some of the great Royal Rumble moments. We talked about this a few weeks ago in brief, but Kaz, Dave, your favorite or most memorable Royal Rumble moments. Was it 94 when Shawn Michaels and the British Bulldog seemingly won it together? Was it when Rey Mysterio won it and became the World Heavyweight Champion later at WrestleMania? Was it when Ric Flair won the WWE, the real World's Champion, won the championship at the Royal Rumble? Was it when Bam Bam Bigelow shoved Lawrence Taylor down on his keister at the Royal Rumble 1995? Was it when Mike Tyson showed up at the Royal Rumble 1998? Your top Royal Rumble moments from what you can remember. We'll start with you, our own historian, the Kaz.
If you didn't say the last one, I would have felt better. But that is the most memorable for me when Mike Tyson came out. Besides the Yokozuna one, which had more history to it, the Mike Tyson one just took wrestling at that time to another level.
And all he did was appear in the skybox
That's
with
all
Shane
he
McMahon.
did. That's all he did. And that was basically during the highest rated times of wrestling.
1998, that
it was right there, or that 2 to 3 month period.
Right. Yep.
So that, to me, is the most memorable moment with Mike Tyson.
That actual Royal Rumble would be the second Royal Rumble won by Steve Austin from San Jose, California, in the Shark Tank. David Hero, your Royal Rumble top moment.
For me, all-time top moment has to be when Hulk Hogan and the Ultimate Warrior clotheslined each other in their very first lockup.
That had to be 1990. Or was it 91? Was it before or after their match at WrestleMania 6?
I think it was...
Because Hogan won it in 90 and 91.
It was 90 because 91, I believe that was when Slaughter beat Warrior.
At Mania,
Don't
correct?
quote me because I'm sure I'm wrong, but, you know.
You don't have your Wikipedia in front of you?
But Ric Flair
No.
then won the title.
Oh, Ric Flair won the title after entering number 3 at the Knickerbocker Arena, as it was called at the time, in 1992, which is probably known as Gorilla Monsoon and Bobby Heenan's best work ever on that pay-per-view. Because remember, Heenan was the financial consultant or the travel, I don't know what he was, for along with Mr. Perfect for Ric Flair. He answered number 3. There was no chance he was going to do it. He was the real world champion. He actually did it. And I say,
wait. The real world champion?
That's what Ric Flair was saying at the time when there was one title in WWE called the WWE Championship.
Gotcha.
Because he had the World Heavyweight Championship from WCW.
Okay.
Or the tag team belt.
Just trying to clarify things.
That is my top moment. That Royal Rumble, I watched it again the other day, actually.
It was the who of Rumble.
Absolutely. Everybody was in that thing, including, was that the year Barbarian or Warlord went right back out?
Might have been. But you had Kerry Von Erich was in there, Ric Flair, Hulk Hogan, Ultimate Warrior. All the big stars were there.
And Yokozuna would win the year after Frank.
Was The Miz even born then?
Yes, he was born. Were you even born then?
Absolutely.
You know what? Stop it. You just stop it.
I had 18 years in
British Bulldog, Ted DiBiase, Shawn Michaels, Tito Santana,
Reba,
the Texas Tornado, Greg Valentine, Nikolai Volkov, Hercules, Jake the Snake Roberts, Jimmy Snuka, The Undertaker Savage, Rick Martel, Hulk Hogan, Skinner, Sid Justice, all participated in the 1992
Rumble.
Rumble.
Think about all those names that you mentioned. At that time, you could literally pick 10 wrestlers that could win it.
Right.
10 to 12. Now it's 5 at best. And then you hope that of the 4 remaining that there's one that, is the surprise, which they normally do. The final 4, normally, there is one wrestler that is a surprise. And remember the year with Mr. Perfect was one of the final 4.
Mm-hmm. That was 2002 or 3.
Right. So that was the surprise. Hey, you never know, he could win it. So I like that the intrigue into that. And, of course, there has to be one surprise moment of every Rumble where you don't see it coming.
Drew Carey? No, we knew he was going to be at it.
Yeah.
Honky Tonk Man.
A couple times he's been the surprise.
You've got to keep one secret.
Triple H will be the surprise.
Haku was the surprise one year.
God bless you.
Thank you, Mr. Piper. So many great surprises, and that'll be our next thing to talk about after we take a couple phone calls is what kind of surprises might we anticipate seeing this year at the Royal Rumble, because they deliberately haven't announced names. Now, keep in mind, the announcement of names has been a lot less substantial over the last few years. Hell, they used to even draw numbers on TV during the pay-per-view so that to give it a little more intrigue and a little more buy-in. But, obviously times have changed.
It's my favorite pay-per-view.
The Royal Rumble?
Yeah.
It's got spontaneity. It's got a lot of interest. It's the countdown every 60, 90 seconds. It's viewer participation.
It normally doesn't drag either. That's the thing.
And
it's going to drag this year with 40 people in it?
You're that fan. You're that guy.
No, I'm being honest.
Here's the thing.
Yes, let's hear it.
The Royal Rumble is made for what? It's made because it's a great pay-per-view, a great idea by Pat Patterson. But the Royal Rumble can create so many things. It can create or prolong so many stories in WWE if done right. We would not have the images of The Undertaker being eliminated by Maven. We would not have the images of Stone Cold Steve Austin sitting on top of a ring rope looking at his watch that's not there. We would not have those moments. Miz being eliminated by Hornswoggle. We would not have those moments.
Goldberg versus Brock Lesnar.
Beth Phoenix being eliminating the Great Khali. We would not have those moments if not for the Royal Rumble. You can do some unique things in that matchup that you can't really do in many other places.
Well, no, you have 30 people in the ring almost at one time. Demolition Axe versus Smash.
Ah, yes. The first time that anything like that had happened on such a scale. And you know what I remember thinking that year? They were number 1 and 2.
Yes.
Why didn't they just wait?
Because it's every man for themselves.
But no. It was the recipients of this year's PWR Lifetime Achievement Award, one of the greatest tag teams, if not the greatest tag team of all time. They didn't have to touch each other. They could have just waited.
Why didn't you ask them that? Gesundheit. Right?
Let's go to the phones. Let's go down to Houston, Texas. James, you're live here on the Pro Wrestling Report.
Good evening, guys. How's the MKE treating you guys tonight?
Tremendous, amigo.
Can never go wrong in the MKE.
All right, no problem. First of all, before I get into my questions, I want to wish you guys good luck for the Pro Wrestling Report. The Wrestling Radio Awards on Sunday.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you very much. It's this Sunday. I think it starts at 3 p.m. Thank you for bringing that up, James. And voting continues
Still time to vote, right?
WrestlingRadioAwards.com, and I will continue to encourage you to go and vote for the show that you so choose to vote for in those awards. And there's a couple of write-in opportunities as well.
Every single one of us.
Snow, the Iron Sheik, the Pope, Rowdy Roddy Piper.
You know the Pope has chips. Salty chips.
All nominated. Those conversations we've had with them, all nominated in categories at the Wrestling Radio Awards. It's WrestlingRadioAwards.com.
Okay, I have two questions for you, and they were both brought up on a couple radio shows in the past. There was a comment that Hero said a couple weeks ago about how there's too many quote-unquote crash and burn moves and high spots and stuff in wrestling matches nowadays, and fans have come accustomed to that. Do you think that that's a downfall in the wrestling business today? And the other question I had was when King Kong Bundy last week brought up about how there's too many good main event matches that are on TV for free. Do you guys think that the WWE and TNA would benefit from jobbers coming back on TV and maybe saving some good matches for pay-per-view?
Thank you for that call, James, down in Houston. Dave, I'll let you address the first.
About the crash and burn guys?
Yeah.
Absolutely it hurts wrestling. Guys are doing all these big top rope moves on, through tables and whatnot, and guys are getting up and getting back in the ring, and they need to slow things down, be a little more snug. Everyone loved the Bryan Danielson versus William Regal match. There's no crash and burn in that. It was a slow, methodical, theory-filled match, and everyone liked it.
Kaz, you've said many times on this program that ECW ruined professional wrestling. Really where crash and burn came from on a national scale.
Yeah, without getting too much into that, that is the case in my opinion. That when ECW came in, it was cool at first, and then it was, how many chair shots can you take? And
but you admit that without ECW, wrestling would not have been revolutionized as it was in the 90s.
As much as it changed it hurt it.
Exactly.
Frank hates ECW. So he ruined wrestling.
Basically.
He stands behind that.
I know he does.
He's not flip-flopping.
No, not at all. That's why Frank and I are tight like that.
James down in Houston.
The second part of that
thank you very much,
question, I'd love to see jobbers back.
They are
Iron
back.
Mike, sir.
No. I mean,
there are
the real ones. There's no way that guy's.
You got your pick, Justin Gabriel. He's a jobber. Cody Rhodes is jobbing. Ted DiBiase is jobbing.
That is not fair to
What do
Kai.
you mean?
You got to be fair to Kai.
Still early.
Mark Henry's a jobber. My God, he's
You just picked on Kai's pick for next breakout star, the next big thing in 2011. That is not
Why
fair to Kai.
Why are you pointing your fingers at me?
Because you're sitting there attacking Kai.
No,
you got
didn't.
your finger in his face.
I didn't at all.
Talking about how his picks are bad.
I didn't say his pick was bad. I just he's a jobber.
You called him a jobber.
Is that bad?
Justin Gabriel is not a jobber.
He still has a job. He's still working. He's on TV every week.
It was at the
Chicks
end of
dig
Raw.
him. Come on, absolutely. Main evented on Raw.
Yes, wrestling needs those few opportunities where a jobber just comes out and gets squashed. There's nothing wrong with
Bring
that.
it back. I would.
Thank you very much for that call down in Houston. James, we're going to take another timeout. When we come back, actually, no, we're not going to take a timeout. Tillman, can we keep going here through Sports Center? How do you feel about that?
Really?
We're going to take a brief timeout. I just got shut down. A brief timeout.
Again?
We're still looking for phone calls, 276-ESPN, 800-990-ESPN here on the award-winning Pro Wrestling Report on 540 ESPN and ESPNMilwaukee.com.
540 ESPN.
Nelson, stop bobbing your head. Will you quit bobbing your head to Cody's song?
The song's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, you're on.
You know,
hey, why'd you kill that so
you know
fast?
what? You know what,
Superman
Frank?
played for 4 minutes in here. Sean Burkhead. All right, let's.
Whoa, they got the clip of you in the shower singing?
Stop. How did that get on there? How did that get on there? Who's taping me in the shower?
Meathead.
No. Sean Burkhead selected that song on our Facebook page. Thank you very much, Sean Burkhead. As the fans get to select, tonight.
Sean Burkhead, I had faith in all of those, all of you wrestling fans until that popped up.
Listen, I fail to understand.
What's next, the Pope?
I fail to understand y'all's hatred for Cody Rhodes.
Y'all?
Y'all's hatred for Cody Rhodes. Why do you hate him?
I don't hate him.
Clearly you do.
I just don't think he's a star. Think about it. Who's he beat?
Stop it. I don't have
Who has he
Wikipedia
beat?
in front of me
Who
either.
has he beat?
People.
He has yet to win a big match.
He's been in them.
Has he won one? No. Not at all. Last time I saw him on SmackDown, he was
You haven't watched SmackDown
bum
since
over
it was
tea
on
kettle with
UPN.
Dolph Ziggler.
Welcome back to the award-winning
Call you back in an hour.
Pro Wrestling Report on 540 ESPN, streaming live at ESPNMilwaukee.com, PWRShow.com, and on Blog Talk Radio. Damian Nelson here with you live, along with the Cause and David Octavius, the Spin Cycle Hero.
But you already knew that.
We're taking your phone calls as well. The number 276-ESPN. We do have some lines open right now, 800-990-ESPN, 1-800-990-3776 as well. Again, thanks go out to Sean Burkhead and Harry Barnett, two people who selected songs to be
No,
played
Harry
tonight
Barnett
during the show.
selected a song. The other guy, I don't know what he was thinking.
Do you have any respect for our fans, our listeners?
A lot of them. The smart ones.
All our fans.
And the cute ones. Just an opinion. You don't got to agree with me.
Let's go back to the phone lines. Let's go to, looks like New York. Don on line 2. You're live.
Now, Cody Rhodes has declared 2011 is the year of dashing. You have to be on board with that.
Thank you. See? See? A smart one.
You're right, Dave.
See? How
Don,
about that?
what do you have for us this week?
You guys wearing your cheese heads tonight, by the way?
Mine got broken. I was watching it in some unfriendly territory down near the Illinois border, and it got taken off my head and split in 3.
Yeah, there's a lot of angry Chicagoland fans right now. That's without.
A lot of Cutler sympathizers, too.
Let them be angry.
They're only as angry as the Wisconsin fans would have been, so nobody's better than anybody else.
Whoa, you better pick a side here, champ.
Maybe Jay Cutler can show up at the Royal Rumble. He'd make a good heel right now.
He's out for 6 days. He's got an injury.
Yeah, that would violate his contract terms.
Don, what do you have for us wrestling?
All right, 2 questions. First question is going to be this Lay Cool storyline. Big Lay Cool supporter here. Do you see somebody teaming up with Lay Cool here, kind of bringing in some reinforcements? And the second question is, what's going to happen with my man A-Raw? Where's he going in the WWE?
You know, I would love to see Awesome Kong show up with Lay Cool at the Rumble.
He did ask that.
Well, in a roundabout way, he kind of did. Enforcement, who else is there?
Somebody said
Not the Bellas.
Somebody said Beth Phoenix is going to turn on Natalie and team up with Lay Cool. Have you heard that rumor?
Yeah, they've been talking about that.
Documented.
You
Yeah,
know,
I can see
absolutely. But I think it would be more entertaining if it was Awesome Kong. But, either or, they definitely need some size for Lay Cool. Make that an interesting threesome. Right, Damien?
How about A-Rod?
Oh, that's Damien's call. That's your boy.
Alex Riley's got a big future in WWE. He's got a good look. He's good on the mic.
You'll see.
He's got a future. He's paired with the biggest star in wrestling right now.
After WrestleMania, maybe a month or 2 after that, they'll start a little tease where he wants to go on his own.
I doubt it. If Alex Riley is smart, he stays on the Miz's coattails for the next 5 to 6 years.
Has there ever been a bodyguard who hasn't turned?
Even Virgil turned.
Oh, Diesel turned.
Did Big Bubba
Virgil.
ever turn on Jim Cornette?
Absolutely, he did.
See?
I'd say in the summer.
Virgil never. Oh, Virgil did turn.
Yeah.
Yes, he did. I would say in the summer you'll see, the old let's see what happens here.
Yeah, it's all rosy now, but when and if the Miz loses his title, I think there'll be a little friction.
Miz will blame it on A-Rod, and then they'll have a match sometime at maybe SummerSlam.
Don, I like the theme of your call. Why don't you call in every week? See, I think we can get along here.
Well, I'm a disgruntled Jets fan right now. I need to channel my emotions somehow. So that's what I call.
What are you looking forward to most at this Sunday's Royal Rumble from the 40-man Royal Rumble matchup?
Well, obviously it's interesting. They've upped the ante with 40 wrestlers. I'm thinking maybe a surprise entrance from the Great Khali. I'm going with that.
Oh, forgot about him.
That could be.
I hope he doesn't bring his bodyguards.
Really?
Well, I mean,
maybe he's got some dancing lessons. Who knows?
Don from out of New York, thank you very much for that call. Let's continue on the phone lines in the phone zone. And remember, we are seeking your submissions for Versus, our segment where we take one star of old and pair them up against one star of today. You can do that by submitting them via Twitter. Our Twitter name is @PWR Show, and all you need to do is put a hash mark in front of the word versus, along with your two participants. Send them over, and we will select that to discuss later on. Let's go down over to Michigan. Eric, you're live here on the Pro Wrestling Report.
My beautiful friend, how are you tonight?
Tremendous. How are you?
How about you, Damien?
Yeah, I was mainly talking about Damien, definitely. Let me tell you. Wonderful thing. Damien's like watching a Sharmell versus Jenna Moroska match.
Wow. Hey, that's a bad memory. I was there live. Wow. That could be one of the, no disrespect to either of them, but that could be one of the worst professional wrestling exhibitions in the last 10 years. Victory Road 09, I think.
That's a big agreement from everybody, I think. So, what do you guys see happening with Dolph Ziggler? I'm sorry if I may have missed it because I just spent 10 hours at college, but I want to know if you guys think he's going to end up being Jack Swaggered.
That's a good question. Eric in Michigan, thank you very much for that call. I have long been a fan of Dolph Ziggler, not Nikki, Dolph Ziggler. I have spoken about how great he performs in the ring. I'm not saying he's the best wrestler in the world, but he's fun to watch. And I think him getting this opportunity at the Rumble is a bit, as Frank would say, we'll see what happens. Now, the Ziggler, the Swagger treatment, if you will, where Swagger has been, you've got paired up with a Hawk. Remember, like Brock Lesnar with the sombrero before he left and all that stuff. Got paired up with a Hawk, and now he's into, the shadows on SmackDown, really. I don't know. I mean, Ziggler's been pushed strong and pulled back a few times as well. I don't know what his future holds, but, Dolph Ziggler isn't that larger-than-life kind of star right now. And down the road, I think his talents are unique enough where he could be viewed as such.
A big part of that is Vicky. You have to give her the credit that what she's done in helping in this push for Dolph Ziggler.
Mm-hmm. Without Vicky, Ziggler would be still wrestling. Well, he is still sort of wrestling Kofi Kingston every week. But remember, look at SmackDown last week. Standing tall at the end of the show was Dolph Ziggler.
Right.
SmackDown got its. Oh wait, you heard right?
No, tell me.
SmackDown highest rating on Sci-Fi, 2.07, 3.3 million viewers. Do you know why?
Yeah,
the
Wade Barrett.
WWE champion was on SmackDown last week. He
Was he?
delivered the highest rating that show's gotten in years.
Really?
Years. Yeah.
Good for him.
Mm-hmm. You just can't be happy for anybody else, can you?
I'm happy for myself. I'm happy for Wade Barrett. Alberto Del Rio. Come on, they're stars.
Eric in Michigan, thank you very much for that. Speaking of stars,
Who had a better night tonight, The Miz or Del Rio?
The Miz.
Lies.
The Miz.
How do you figure?
Did Del Rio own John Cena?
The
man who started the company?
He made the world's strongest man tap.
David Hero, are you kidding me?
Has
that
The Miz made him tap?
Oh, what? No. What?
Seriously. Who has The Miz made tap?
Mark Henry, the question is, why is he getting pushed still? Why is he still out there?
You didn't answer my question.
Why is he
Who has
not
The
saying,
Miz ever made tap?
when he walks down the ramp?
Oh, yeah. Are you calling him Kool-Aid? Amigo, are you serious? The last time you talked bad about a Raw star, and they're going to be in town in a couple weeks? Oh, boy. And you know they listen.
I have nothing against Mark Henry.
Mark Henry, he called you Kool-Aid.
I did not.
What flavor? Cherry, grape?
God, did I ever say that?
Yeah, he just said, oh, yeah. Well, who says, oh, yeah?
A lot of
Macho
people.
Man?
You just
No.
said it 4 or 5 times.
But I'm not making fun of Mark Henry. This is going to be bad for you.
Kaz, clean this up.
I don't know if I can.
No, seriously, who has ever tapped out to The Miz?
Randy Orton.
He never tapped.
Well, he was beaten up pretty bad where he was.
I said tap.
No, let's get back to the core of the situation of the
1 hour or 2 hours.
You said 1 hour. You said I threw you Miz Cena. You threw me Del Rio
I
Henry.
said who had a better night.
You did, and I said Miz because he owned John Cena. You said no. Del
Who got
Rio
the last word in between Miz and Cena? Cena, and he walked away. Miz didn't recover from that. You know who Miz...
From here forth.
No. Wait.
I
you
am
know
not...
who Miz and A-Rod reminded me of tonight?
Who?
Night at the Roxbury. Those two brothers.
Long time?
No. Well, he'll be wrestling this weekend, but we'll talk about that later. But you know the two brothers. I forgot what their names are. Damn it.
Frank,
yeah, kind of. Where they were, bobbing their heads back and forth. Not like dancing.
Cause let it be so. Me and that one.
You guys work it out.
No, we can't talk about
the
WWE champion anymore because he just will never give him the respect he's due.
I do. He's the champ. Congratulations, Miz.
I want
I'm
to
happy for
bookend
you.
this with this. I threw at you Cena Miz.
Yes.
You threw at me Del Rio Henry.
Yes.
Top of the card, Frank. Which match would you rather see?
Well, Miz didn't have a match. Miz didn't have a match. Apples to apples, not apples to bananas.
The two names. Which match would you rather see?
Well, at the moment, Miz.
Miz and Cena.
But it wasn't a match, amigo.
Well, here's the thing.
No, it's the names. I didn't throw at you a match between Cena and Miz. I threw at you you said who had a better night. You didn't say who had a better match.
Who looked better? Who looked stronger? Absolutely Del Rio. Ask the chatmosphere. Ask the tweeters, the Facebookers, the callers. They know the truth. You're trying to spin all this stuff. You're hurtful.
What is love?
Yes. Yes. Well, since we got that going, we might as well talk about Angel Armani's MIAW this weekend.
This
on Saturday,
weekend.
featuring the Love Machine Matt Longtime. It's in South Milwaukee at 1919 12th Avenue. $12 tickets, $8 for kids. 7:30 bell time. It's the Rumble. It's the Rumble Royal, featuring Angel Armani and his whole cast of merry men. Silas Young. For more ticket information, get your pens and paper ready. It's 414-517-5906.
Support your local
This
independent
Saturday.
wrestling. Those
Yes,
guys give
South
it
Milwaukee.
100%. You have an opportunity to get out there. It's a lot of fun to watch.
This song makes me feel good.
In conclusion,
Yes.
I have no problem with Mark Henry.
You don't like Alberto Del Rio?
I have no problem with Alberto Del Rio. This talking to you really is like sitting in front of Bill O'Reilly because you don't hear anything I say.
I listen.
You make your own mind up and you put words in my mouth in an attempt to get me to agree with you over what I didn't say.
That's pretty funny. I'm not that. I have superpowers, but that's not one of them.
Let's go to Paul in New York on line 1. You're live. Paul in New York, you're live here on the Pro Wrestling Report.
Hey, hello, guys. You hear me?
Hello, sir.
We can hear you, Paul.
Hey, Nelson, hero.
Yo.
Hey, guys.
Yeah.
I'm calling from New York, the losing city of the Jets, You really can't say much about those guys, but what else?
I can say they lost.
What happened?
Oh, go ahead, amigo. What's going on?
Yeah, guys, I was gonna talk to you guys about the promos that they shoot on the commercials about the tours for WWE. Mm-hmm. Do you think in a way that could affect them? Because in a way, I think it was a show. I forget. I don't remember where.
You're talking about the house shows, right? When they have the commercials saying John Cena's going to be wrestling whoever, right?
Yeah, exactly. But the thing is that sometimes they include two more, and they really, they kind of spoil everything.
Well, here's the thing.
Confused.
It's always card is subject to change without notice.
Mm.
And they're trying to sell tickets. They want to get you there.
Yeah. But the thing is that sometimes they say too much.
But Paul, one thing to remember, many times that stuff doesn't happen.
No.
The advertised main event is just to get you to buy tickets because they're not going to tell you what's going to happen on Raw, and then it doesn't happen, or some variation of it happens. So.
Right now, for the Raw Milwaukee, they're saying Cena and Orton against CM Punk, and I think The Miz with Michael Cole as a special guest referee.
Right.
Yeah, but do they sometimes include, let's say, because I know they did already mention with The Miz how The Miz, the WWE champion, The Miz, is going to face whoever in, let's say, March 2nd.
Right,
for example.
But they have to do it that way now because right now he's the champion. That can all change.
What if they would say it's the champion Randy Orton against The Miz? Would that bother you?
Well, no, not really, because, Randy's not the champion right now.
No, but if he was advertised as the champion.
You'd probably go crazy.
Well, yeah.
Right, so they say right now the champion Miz because he is.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they do it. And, of course, cards subject to change.
Oh, I thought they were doing it, because it was already it was gonna be like that already on March 2nd. That's what I thought it was gonna. I thought that's what they were.
It's kind of it's kind of like right now the New Orleans Saints are still the Super Bowl champions until a new one is crowned.
Who dat? Thank you for calling, Paul, out in New York, and we're still taking phone calls from all over the world. The number 414-276-ESPN, 414-276-3776. 1-800-990-ESPN, all over the world, 1-800-990-3776.
You know, when I was out in New York last week, I stopped and got a Gray's Papaya hot dog. Fantastic.
You didn't get a Nathan's Famous?
No, Gray's Papaya. Salma Hayek loves those. She does. Damien, are you all right?
My head hurts because of you. I mean, it literally... I can't even open my eyes. I'm sensitive to the light in here now.
A headache is from lack of fluids. You need to drink some water.
This part
Jameson doesn't count.
It's clear. When you mix it with Sprite.
Yes, it is.
When we come back, more of your phone calls, your tweets. We've got an announcement of who our guest is scheduled to be next week, and also so much more. We're going to continue talking about the Royal Rumble, the ones to watch, and who might be those surprises. This is the award-winning Pro Wrestling Report on 540 ESPN and ESPNMilwaukee.com.
540 ESPN.
What I'd like to have right now is for all you fat, out-of-shape Mississippi mall rats. I forgot the rest.
Well, by the time everybody was booing anyway.
So your ladies what a real man is.
You know what's frustrating is watching Frank stand on his chair doing the hip swivel.
Especially since he's wearing boxers with Steak the Snake's wife on him.
That's
Cheryl.
ridiculous, Frank. I'm scarred.
I'm sorry.
The fans are picking the music tonight, and they're doing a great job of it. That one coming from Graham Williams. Graham Williams
Another
on Facebook.
guy from the UK.
Hey,
see what
David,
I'm saying?
look, let me tell you this, all right? I want to make clear a statement I made earlier.
It's 5 o'clock in the morning over there.
We are, at some point, going to take this operation over to the United Kingdom.
Yes.
We are going to do so in conjunction with a touring event that's going to be going on over there. We just don't know when yet because Frank has still got to – the books have to – they're still cooking for this year. So once they're done and nice and tender, then we can find the funds to go ahead and try. It's not cheap, David Hero.
I know it's
not.
Now,
maybe it's cheaper to fly a fan over here.
Or several. Absolutely. Whatever you want to do, Dave.
No, maybe we pick a fan.
Ah, I like that idea. We pick one.
We will. The marketing people have just texted me, and we will be talking once the show is over.
Yeah.
Forget it. Let's just do it. I'm all for it.
That's how this stuff happens.
Marketing is.
It'll be fine.
Listen, here's the thing. In 140 characters or less, you got to tweet to PWR Show why you should come and sit in the studio with us.
Welcome back to the award-winning Pro Wrestling Report. We're live on Monday, January 24, 2011. And Damian Nelson here along with the Kaz and the Hero Man.
But you already knew that.
We want to thank you for your submissions thus far on Twitter for Versus tonight and all your amazing feedback during WWE RAW tonight as we were discussing the happenings of RAW live on Twitter. And, gentlemen, you know we're going to WrestleMania 27 down in the Georgia Dome in Hot Atlanta. Hot Atlanta. And the legalities are just about done, so we are ready to announce the big deal, if you will, at least the first half of it, the first part. We're going to WrestleMania. We're watching WrestleMania from the Georgia Dome, just like everybody else, all 70,000 other people. However, only a few people will have the opportunity to watch WrestleMania from a luxurious suite.
I like it. I love it.
The PWR Sweet and Sexy WrestleMania package.
That means Linda's coming, huh?
Linda K., myself, the Kaz, and David Hero.
Funny how Frank made that happen, huh?
In a suite at WrestleMania with 11 of the biggest PWR fans out there. This is huge.
It is. Humongous.
And there's more.
There is more.
Got to sit on for a little while.
It's simmering.
It's simmering, but it's huge. But it's enough to just be there with the cause. But it's an opportunity of a lifetime. WrestleMania 27. WrestleMania 27. From a suite at the Georgia Dome, the PWR suite. We've got our own suite, and we're inviting 11 of our closest fans to join us in that suite along with Linda Kay. It's a sweet and sexy package. All the details available later at pwrshow.com. Again, this is an exclusive opportunity. There is some opportunities for those of you who want to get on board earlier to do so. And if you've already got tickets for WrestleMania, don't mind that. PWR will take care of that as well. It's the sweet and sexy package.
Jeez. This is humongous.
It's huge.
This is the biggest news from WrestleMania. It's amazing stuff.
Oh, wait, hold on. Wait.
One of the biggest.
You guys aren't going to fight over who's going to sit next to Linda. Because I see the tension on TV between the two of you and her.
I got the jacket.
You have the jacket. Damien cuts the checks. It's like, boy, what's going on here? Kind of left out in the cold.
I'm not saying a word.
Of course you're not.
So, again, details on that. 11 of our closest fans are going to have the opportunity. It's a first-come, first-served deal to be with us in a suite at WrestleMania 27. And it's a better deal than most any other deal out there. Food, drink, a PWR T-shirt, some autographed photos of us and some superstars from professional wrestling. And there might be more that we're adding to that. So we're done selling. But
are you hinting at more, like someone special could be in the suite?
That's what I'm hinting at.
Huh.
And a lot of people are smart out there. If they put two and two together, they might be able to figure that out. But
there is a legal part that we're still trying to make sure that it goes through. That's all we have to say.
But anyways, that's the details of that. It's the sweet and sexy WrestleMania package. It's the best deal to view WrestleMania, and you get to view it with Frank Cosentino and Linda Kay. And they will be separated by the PWR security team while in that suite. WrestleMania 27 at the Georgia Dome. Details tomorrow at pwrshow.com. Gentlemen, the Royal Rumble, though, is this Sunday night. And there's always some surprises in the Rumble, or generally some surprises in the Rumble. There are a lot of names that a lot of people are expecting to see this Sunday night. Earlier we talked about Chris Jericho being one of those potential names. I think the obvious one to talk about is Triple H. Triple H. Will he or will he not be some way, shape, or form a part of this Sunday's WWE Royal Rumble? David Hero.
Absolutely. He has to be.
Has to be.
Why not?
Why
Well, he was
not?
just on ESPN this past week and talking about your NFC champion, Green Bay Packers, Aaron Rodgers, and the belt. I mean,
who contacted who in that situation?
I'm sure they contacted the E.
Yeah.
And and instead of having the Wii champion or Edge, the world champion, they go with the cerebral assassin, Triple H. How'd that make you feel, Damian Nelson, when your guy is on every news talk show, whatever it is, but can't make it on ESPN?
Oh, here's the thing. Miz was wrestling for a live event at 1 o'clock that day.
It's pre-taped, homie. Come on.
And you can't have one star doing everything. I mean, you got to throw Triple H a bone every now and again. The Miz can't be everywhere at every time.
Wow.
So that's how I felt. I felt fine about it. Okay?
Okay.
I think we might have a little bit of heat. I think it's boiled over. I think the cup has runneth over. I'm not sure I can be in a suite with you at WrestleMania.
You don't have to be. You can sit down with everybody else. That'll make you feel better. It'll be fine, Damien. I understand. You're upset with Frank, not me, okay? He wore the jacket, you didn't. He got the dinner date, you didn't.
Linda and I have an understanding.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
An open understanding?
Things are open.
Okay.
Let's go. Well, let's finish actually talking about this subject. Jericho, Triple H, two names that are being thrown around for the Rumble. Who else might we see? There isn't much out there to pick from. However,
Booker T?
There's this big discussion, a lot of discussion out there about Booker T's status, Sting's status, Kevin Nash's status, and we had hoped to be able to address that with him tonight because the people are saying that any of those three men could either be going back to TNA to reform the Main Event Mafia, or Sting could be inducted into the Hall of Fame. Sting could wrestle The Undertaker. Sting could be a part of the Royal Rumble.
Sting is not going to be in the Hall of Fame or WrestleMania.
He's not.
No.
You're sure? Because this is a flip-flop.
Yeah, I've changed my mind.
Will The Undertaker be a part of the Royal Rumble on Sunday?
No.
How do you get him to WrestleMania then?
He's The Undertaker. He can pop up the week before and he'll be on WrestleMania.
There isn't much else out there.
I think he shows up.
Undertaker?
I think he does show up.
You know, that's the joy
I don't think
about
he's going
The
to do
Undertaker.
much.
All you need to do is ring the bell and turn the lights
hold
off,
on.
and he's there.
There's no reason for him to show up at the Rumble because Kane isn't in no big match for that. Right?
I'm going to predict that he does show up. He won't do much. He'll show up. I'm also going to predict that Triple H does show up. They'll close up on Sheamus. Sheamus will have this look of, what's he doing here? Triple H goes into the ring, tosses Sheamus out, and possibly the both of them go outside of the ring and don't come back, and that starts the feud for them to wrestle at WrestleMania.
I
That's all
guess Dave
gotta say
doesn't
about
like that so much.
No,
yeah.
honestly, I have no idea what they're going to do yet. And if I did know, I got to save him for Be the Booker.
Which is going to be this Friday on PWR Primetime, Be the Booker, where a whiteboard, myself, and David Hero will talk about this Sunday's Royal Rumble. This is going to be the most complicated one yet. There's going to be 20 or 40 names on that board, David Hero. We might need, not a whiteboard, we might need magnetic strips to move names around. This could be a 3-hour show.
I'm not going to book the entire Rumble. The match itself.
You can't handle that?
No.
We want
you can't handle the Rumble.
We want you to book 1 to 40.
1 through 40? Absolutely.
We certainly wouldn't want you to do that because people are going to tune in and be with PWR
You're wrong
live.
about 27.
Yeah.
Yeah, that too. They're going to tune in and be a part of the Pro Wrestling Report's live coverage on the stream of the WWE Royal Rumble this Sunday starting at 8:30 exclusively on Blog Talk Radio and PWRshow.com. The ones to watch. As we talked about building matches for WrestleMania, the Royal Rumble is a great stepping stone for a lot of new stories or a lot of continuing stories. And maybe this Sunday night we're going to see a lot of that develop further. I think the things obvious going into it, John Cena, CM Punk, Nexus, Core, Morrison, Sheamus, you got a lot going on. But what other opportunities may exist for new stories to start? What about Ezekiel Jackson? Obviously, he's part of the Core, but how are they going to present him in the Rumble? You know what they normally do with big men? Multiple eliminations, difficult elimination. Will Zeke be that guy? At the same time, where does that leave Big Show? What about Kane? How strong will Sheamus be? And the big star, the one everybody's talking about may win this Rumble, Alberto Del Rio.
He's not.
There you have it right there, though. Listen to those names and listen to all those possibilities. Those are people who could possibly do very well in this matchup. I didn't say win.
Right.
Who could possibly do extremely well in this matchup. And with 40 men in it, potential extended time, but not much, because remember they shortened the intervals, we could see a lot of significant developments in this Royal Rumble.
You know who I would love to see at number 40?
Who that?
Sheamus. The King comes in at 40. Makes him, on paper, look like the obvious odds-on favorite to win then.
I could see that, but normally the last one is someone that, fans have been building up, and it's usually a big name.
Keep in mind, guys.
Sheamus is not a big name.
No, you kind of are.
But that's the one that's like, holy cow, it's that guy.
Sheamus.
No. But what could happen?
In the last 10 years, 8 of the winners of the Royal Rumble have entered at 20 or later. Significant.
The last heel.
4 have entered 25 or later. Only 2 number 30s have won the Royal Rumble in the history of it. 2 final entrants in the Rumble have won, and that was The Undertaker and John Cena in 2007 and 2008. So when you look at across the board, the numbers are all over the place. It's not like that board next to a roulette wheel when you walk by. It tells you the latest numbers and maybe gives you an idea of what might be next. Anything could happen. They could want to go take somebody long haul again. Have them spend all this time in there in the largest Rumble of all time.
Like CM Punk.
And really give them some steam behind them.
You know what?
A lot of possibilities.
Frank, you brought up something interesting. When was the last time a heel won the Rumble?
I'm trying to think. It wasn't that long ago. Because
Vince McMahon in 99?
Is that the last time?
Was The Rock in 2000?
The Rock was a babyface then.
Austin in 2001?
Babyface.
Triple H, babyface. Lesnar was...
He was a heel.
In 03?
But then they didn't give the guy the chance to go for the championship, did they?
I'm not sure.
I don't know the timing. What I'm getting at is, for the most part, pay-per-views and sending the fans home happy.
Not always anymore.
I said for the most part, not all the time. With the Royal Rumble, if a heel wins, they will do something to end the show where the fans can, okay, we're going to send them home happy. So let's say CM Punk wins, which I think is a stretch. But if he wins, John Cena will do something to send the fans home happy. But if it's a face that wins, then they can end the show there.
I think it's obvious that somebody from the Raw brand is going to win because there isn't a strong enough character besides Del Rio on SmackDown to win. There really isn't.
Kane?
No.
To win.
They're not. I mean, think about it. This match is that whoever wins is going to be headlining WrestleMania.
Wow.
Kane's not going to headline it. Even Del Rio, as much as I love Alberto Del Rio, I can see Cena, or if Triple H comes back, that's the guy that will throw him over the top rope.
Last year, WrestleMania was not headlined by a championship matchup. The previous year, I don't think it was.
Randy Orton, 2009, he won it, according to Aggressive Sock.
Won the Rumble?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did. And Edge won it in 2010. Orton was a heel in 2009 when he won it? Yeah, he was.
But Edge was a babyface.
Thank you. Actually, several people. Real Keegan Q, Six-Hit Combo Bally, Real Vibrant Bonafide, and our Cisneros, all on Twitter correcting us on that. Apologies on that.
We get corrected a lot, don't we?
Well, we make a lot of mistakes because we're live, and it's our fans they have the opportunity to look some of that stuff up. If our interns would get off their tails and stop getting you coffee and water and more Fig Newtons.
I like Fig Newton.
Well, then, just saying. Anyways, we've got some patient callers on the line here. We've got Mike down in Tampa, Florida. Let's go to Mike. You're live here on the Pro Wrestling Report.
How you doing, guys?
Doing well.
Tremendous.
I haven't had a chance to actually listen to the show tonight. I'm actually at work right now, but so far it sounds like a great show. It sucks that you guys couldn't get Kevin Nash, but I'm sure you guys will get him next week. I'm sure he's just waiting out to get the right amount of cash, to be honest with you. But,
well, Mike, we'll share with you and all of our other listening audience who our guest is next week. There's been this controversy over the last 2 weeks over these.
Which you started.
This whole Twitter thing between Shawn Michaels and Gregory Shane Helms. Next week, right here on this program, Shane Helms will explain himself and explain what's going on with that whole situation. Shane Helms returns to the Pro Wrestling Report next week, next Monday night.
Good catch.
And we'll have to increase our dump time on that one because we ran out of dump time last time he was on the show. 7 seconds wasn't enough.
Nope. Since you guys are talking about the Royal Rumble, I'd like to throw my hat as far as who I think might have a shot. And, Damian, you might want to brace yourself because I'm about to say a lot of things you're not going to like. But to be quite honest, I think if there's one person that I think should win, and I'm not the only one because I think there's somebody else who does, I think for the Miz's sake, John Cena needs to win the Royal Rumble. Just because if it's the only way that Miz is going to main event to WrestleMania, to be honest with you, is if Cena wins. I'm sorry about that because really there's no one else they can put in there with the Miz besides Triple H, and they're not going to do that. I think that they're putting too much investment into the King Sheamus gimmick to not let that die out. I think that's been building for months. And to be quite honest, I mean, they can go any other way. They can go Cena versus Punk and keep that going. But if that's the case, the Miz's title match is going to be dead in the water because, to be honest, there's no one else. Unless they have Randy Orton pull double duty and win the Rumble. And even then, Miz versus Orton, as much as I like Orton, he's lost a lot of steam, and I don't see him as, to be honest, a credible to be able to carry a Miz title matchup as a main event. Maybe as a co-main event, but seeing as how we've got Triple H versus Sheamus, and that's been built up so much, that's third, that's like mid-main event type level, to be honest with you. So for Miz's sake, I think Cena needs to win the Rumble.
The top four matches will be H and Sheamus, Taker and whoever, the Wii title and the world title. What's the top four?
True, but you said it yourself. The main event, the title matchup, whoever wins the Rumble should main event. Can you honestly see Miz versus Orton being a credible main event, at least compared to the alternatives, which are Taker which is our Triple H versus Sheamus, and Punk versus Cena. Those two I can see as a main event. Miz versus Orton at this point, I don't see it as a main event, to be honest with you.
Hey, Mike, do you wear corrective lenses?
Excuse me?
Do you wear corrective lenses?
No, I'm 20/20.
Oh. Okay.
Where were you going with this?
Yeah. Well, he said he couldn't see the Miz versus Orton.
You're hateful.
I'm not hateful. I was just getting clarification.
Someone has a little bit of doubt about your boy toy, and everyone gets all, and they
I
all
think you
frustrated.
make great points, man. I think you made some great points.
I didn't say anything about his points. We didn't get a chance to do a pre-interview with Mike, so some of these things need to be worked out while we're on the air. I'm sorry, Mike. Thank you for that call. We appreciate it.
Mike, call again.
Yeah, just don't mention Miz to Damien. They won't make fun of your
eyesight. He said I
eyesight.
was going to disagree. I do disagree.
So don't let him down.
There's no need to argue this.
I'm not arguing.
He has his opinion.
You're talking loudly.
I have mine.
Right. You can just
that's
say
what
that's
we do on the left here. We accept that.
Yeah, well, first you can throw a jab at him.
Tomorrow night's going to be great.
Tomorrow night?
Yeah.
What's tomorrow night? Tuesday night?
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
This is the award-winning Pro Wrestling Report on 540 ESPN, streaming live at ESPNMilwaukee.com.
540 ESPN.
Ain't I great?
Really? The fans picked this too.
Yeah, Ryan Daniel Burke picked this. Actually, you know what? I misread it. He said Jarrett's TNA. Sorry, Ryan Daniel Burke. However, there's your shout-out. You did pick Jeff Jarrett, and as soon as I saw Jeff Jarrett, I thought of the Country Waltz. Now, I was hoping to find a version with Rob Parker introducing
him. A version
him.
with Robert Parker? Is that what you said?
Kaz, can you clarify for this one what
Isn't
I said?
Isn't that what he said? I thought you were talking about Daniel Bryan Danielson at first.
You offended one of our callers from earlier in the show.
How so?
This is the award-winning Pro Wrestling Report on 540 ESPN. We're streaming live at ESPNMilwaukee.com.
And if you don't believe it's award-winning, go to WrestlingRadioAwards.com and vote for us. At least one. Well, you can only do it once a day. So, go to different computers throughout the day and keep voting. Go ahead.
Wait a minute.
What?
I didn't realize you lived in Florida in 2000.
I did.
That explains
That's part of it.
Everything.
Win if you can, lose if you must, but always cheat. Remember that?
And never get caught.
Exactly.
Mike's down in Tampa. You're back. I'm sorry Dave offended you. What do you have for us?
First of all, I'd like to apologize for offending Mr. Nelson. I didn't mean to make fun of the Miz so much. I will elaborate as to why I don't see the Miz as champion, because I'm sure that must have confused him. This is why.
What do you mean him? I'm right here. Look, we got no heat. It's fine.
No. Let me
let him explain. Come on, he's paying for this call.
Who's the host?
Let me elaborate.
Please.
It's not that I don't see the Miz being able to main event WrestleMania. It's just, in my opinion, the main event for WrestleMania should be based on a long-standing feud, a blood feud. And compared to Cena versus Nexus and Sheamus versus Triple H, which have been built up for months, going back all the way to the beginning of 2010, I don't think Orton versus Miz I don't see that as being a strong enough main event. That has not been built up enough. It hasn't built up into a blood feud. Orton's lost a lot of steam, in my opinion, since they turned him babyface.
A ton of steam.
A ton of steam. Miz is still technically being built, although he's being built up well. I think a stronger main event would be Sheamus versus Triple H to end that feud, or Nexus versus Cena to end that feud. That's the point I was trying to make, but I didn't get a chance to do it. Other than
I guess Damien not cuts everybody off all the time.
I think this is a great champion. I think at this point, though, he could probably main event the SummerSlam, and that's pretty much it. He needs a few more months to really be built up as a guy who can carry a WrestleMania. Orton, maybe last year when he was at his peak, could have main evented WrestleMania with somebody like The Miz, but not now. Not now. They need to either.
Mike, I don't mean to stop you, but I'm going to for a second. If The Miz is still champion by SummerSlam, TNA will overtake them in the ratings.
Listen, stop it. David, come on. I mean, really, we're a fan-friendly show here.
I am friendly.
But that's a preposterous claim.
Trying to get us over to the UK for other fans.
The Miz will be champion until WrestleMania 27 at the very least.
Yeah, I agree.
Period. Exclamation point. End of story. And all of you out there just need to come to grips with that. It's a fact.
Well, it's not a fact.
As I see it.
Factcheck.org is where you got that from, right, Damien?
They don't cover wrestling.
Oh, well, they should.
It's not a fact, but it will. Barring injury, it'll happen.
Mike in Tampa, we got no problems, pal. It's fine. I am so used to the Miz haters out there. I sit with two of them in this room.
I never said I hated the guy. Don't be putting words in my mouth. I never said I hated the guy.
I never said that either.
Yeah, I don't think it's his time.
Dave the Mark has just cleared it up on Twitter.
Thank God.
The reason why Miz will be champion at Mania is because everyone is telling him he won't be.
Man, and everyone else that's better is busy with somebody else. You know I'm right. Cena's busy with Nexus. Triple H will be busy with Sheamus. John Morrison is busy with Melina.
Santino's busy with Kozlov.
Yeah, exactly.
Versus the winner this week is a Twitter user by the name of the Quail Bird. That's the Twitter username.
Really?
Yep. The Quail Bird. Quail Bird? I don't know. Anyways, great submission, and we want to thank all of you for your submissions. Lex Luger versus John Cena.
Oh, that's easy. Lex Luger.
Really?
Hands down.
Really?
Absolutely.
The Torture Rack versus the STF, going to change it 3 more times.
Attitude adjustment? Absolutely. Lex Luger in his prime against John Cena. Lex Luger had killer instinct back in the day. I don't see John Cena having it. Seriously.
Oh, no, I'm laughing because Ryan Barnes, also on Twitter, username Ryan Barnes4, had a good one. Undefeated MMA superstar Jeff Jarrett versus George St. Pierre.
Ooh, now that I would pay to see that.
But Jarrett hung up his MMA boots.
That's right. Even though I don't wear boots, but that's the best part about it.
Great.
Yeah.
Ain't he great?
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of which, we've got a fan shout-out to make, and thank you for those submissions on Twitter, but Derek Code, it looks like. Derek Cody, username Whitey86 on Twitter, at the TNA show in Dublin tonight, met Dixie Carter, apparently made his way back to catering.
Thanks to you. They drop your names to Dixie Carter, and that gets them in a catering.
Don't let that get out. Dude, thousands.
Dude? They don't draw thousands. What are you talking about?
So a shout-out there.
Yeah.
Shout out there. Lots of conversation here on Twitter. Sorry, we got to get to the chat room as well. We're running out of time here. We got caller waiting. But the final Twitter comment that we have for tonight, King D51, Twitter username, says, DNNS. Damien called it. Hero buried it. He said that Miz would be the champion come Mania, and now we are talking about SummerSlam. He's just saying.
I'm not talking about SummerSlam.
No, you just did. Wow. Do you hear you when you talk?
I said if it were to happen, it'd be terrible. I didn't say it would happen. You don't listen to the words that I say, do you?
Do you hear the words that are coming out of my mouth right now?
What was that from?
Rush Hour?
Yes,
Let's go
yes.
back to the phone lines. Dwayne in Detroit, you're live here on the Pro Wrestling Report.
How's it going, fellas?
Obviously tremendous.
Yes.
First off, I want to make a non-wrestling comment. Did anybody see Ben Roethlisberger get dry humped yesterday by Rashad Mendenhall?
Yeah.
Really?
It was strange.
Didn't he get trouble for that stuff earlier in the season? Didn't he get like a 6-game suspension for that dry humping stuff? You think he learned his lesson?
Yeah. Okay. Back to wrestling. I'm going with.
Well, wait, is that the only thing you got out of the game was the dry hump last night?
Keep it on the freeway, man. Go.
It just happened. I just happened to catch that, like at the last minute.
BVR.
Yeah. I was watching it again, and then I said, "Whoa, what was it?" And I rewinded a couple of times.
Dwayne,
all right. Go, wrestling.
Dwayne, what do you have? This show's gone to hell in a handbasket tonight. Dwayne, what do you have?
Well, anyway, I'm gonna go with CM Punk, John Cena WrestleMania. Miz is not gonna. I don't think Miz is gonna be champion by WrestleMania. I think he's gonna lose the title by, I want to say, Elimination Chamber.
Well, if he loses, it would be, because there's no way that Miz is losing this weekend.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a bold statement, Frank. I mean, I agree, but that's a bold statement.
Yeah, I like the Miz, but I don't see him. I just can't see him like headlining WrestleMania. I can't see it.
You're not alone. You're not alone.
Just because I'm looking at how the company is like, presenting, like he does in main event, and they put him in matches, with Jerry Lawler, like tonight, him and Edge in the middle, of Raw.
You say that, and actually, Dwayne, the worst case scenario for me would be a Jerry Lawler versus the Miz non-championship match, because the Miz will have fallen to that point at WrestleMania. I really think they're trying to give this WrestleMania match to Jerry Lawler, a match at WrestleMania to Lawler.
Yeah,
I really think that's going to happen.
It would have to be for the title.
With Lawler? No, I'm saying
they're not.
Worst case
If
scenario
Miz is
for me.
champion at WrestleMania and it's a non-title,
No, Frank, I'm saying is doomsday scenario. Miz somehow or another gets the title stolen from him.
Superman reference is Doomsday.
Gets the title stolen from him and ends up in a singles match at WrestleMania with Jerry Lawler. Us Miz Marquis have a lot of problems and soul searching to do if that were to happen.
You won't go to Atlanta if that happens, right?
Well, I'm booked. I'm in the suite with all the fans.
Yeah, well,
I got to be there. I was going to watch Linda. Thank you very much,
Frank.
Dwayne, for calling from out in Detroit. Thank you all for calling tonight. Next week, Shane Helms joins us. And we got
Which you can
emails.
follow on Twitter at ShaneHelmsCom.
Yes. I couldn't say that for a minute. Shane Helmscom on Twitter. Go ahead and follow him. He'll be with us again. He had some amazing things to say last time he was on this program. I'm sure he's going to have them as well. We got some emails today from some of you out there wanting to talk more about something we've talked about for the last couple of weeks, which is the situation between Shane and Shawn Michaels, Connor Quinn, and Grant, sending over some emails in regards to that. We'll go ahead and give Shane a chance to answer those next week right here on the Pro Wrestling Report. We want to apologize that Kevin Nash was not able to join us. It is not our style, believe you me, not our style to tell you something that we're not going to deliver, but this was a last-minute change.
Literally,
Just before we went on the air, Kevin Nash was not able to join us, so we apologize for that. But Shane Helms scheduled to join us next week. And, guys, you have the opportunity to come to WrestleMania and watch it in a suite. It's the sweet and sexy WrestleMania deal. Details at PWRshow.com right after the show goes off the air. So be sure to check that out at the all-new PWRshow.com. I want to thank all of our fans on Facebook for submitting their choices for the theme songs tonight, coming in and out of break, and such great conversations that we always get to have with our fans. And this is why we do it, by the way, is for you all. This Friday on the Pro Wrestling Report Prime Time, we're going to talk about who we would also add to the inductee list in the 2011 WWE Hall of Fame, be the booker for the Royal Rumble, and so much more, including Frank and Linda in the Social Media Center. Our star of the week this week, guys, Dolph Ziggler. We talked about it earlier. He stood strong, stood tall at the end of SmackDown last Friday night. Tonight, doing a good job with Vicky on commentary and getting involved. Dolph Ziggler in the main event this Sunday at the Royal Rumble. And if you're not ordering the Royal Rumble, join us for the stream at 8:30 PWRshow.com and on Blog Talk Radio, live coverage of the Royal Rumble, followed by the post show with your calls, comments, tweets, and Facebook posts. We'll see you next week right here on the award-winning Pro Wrestling Report on 540 ESPN. Dave, I think I'm going to let you actually come next week to the show. Things, your
it's in my contract. I'm here every week.
Yeah.
Twice on Sunday. Seriously.
Even on
hey, and let's not forget about Sunday.
Royal
Rumble at Raw.
Wrestling Radio Awards right before.
WrestlingRadioAwards.com. Go on there and vote as often as you like for everything and all PWR.
Kaz, you going to be at Romines? I'm stuck here in the studio doing the radio show Sunday. The stream.
I should be able to make it.
Linda's going to be there. I know you're going to make it.
Now I'll make it.
Yeah, of course.
Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for joining us. This is the award-winning Pro Wrestling Report. We'll see you Friday for prime time. We'll see you Sunday for the stream on Blog Talk Radio. And next Monday night with Shane Helms, our guest, the award-winning Pro Wrestling Report on 540 ESPN and ESPNMilwaukee.com.